You see they're dry. You see there's no marrow in the bone. You see they're scattered all over the valley. They ain't even full skeletons. I mean, the bones are scattered all over the valley. They're just bones. But answer me a question, Ezekiel. Can these bones live? Ezekiel answers the only way he knows how to answer. Lord, you know. Critical race theory was born out of critical legal theory. Am I teaching y'all something today? There emerged two common beliefs linking all critical race theories. First, white supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's just a fact. How in the world are you going to fight against that being taught in any school? White supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's a fact. Why don't you want that to be taught in school? You let your schools teach us that Columbus discovered America. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that George Washington couldn't tell a lie. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that some slave owners were beneficent and good slave owners. There were no good slave owners. Anybody who owned people was evil. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that Abraham Lincoln was good for Negroes. No, Abraham Lincoln was trying to save the Union. And Abe Lincoln himself said if he could save the Union and keep black people in chains, he would do it. That's a lie. Come on, somebody. You let them teach us about a white Jesus. You let them teach us that Native Americans were the aggressors. Come on, somebody. That white folk had a manifest destiny and that the Pilgrims were good at Native Americans. That's a lie. All day, every day, you let them teach us lies. All throughout my history in school, I was taught lies. But you got a problem with critical race theory because it teaches the truth that white supremacy has subordinated black people and people of color. The right to bear arms. Let me just back up a little bit and let me take you on back to the late 1960s when Ronald Reagan was the governor of California. And they were oppressing black folk, and a group of men and women known as the Black Panther Party decided that they were going to defend the rights of black folk. And the Black Panthers decided that the Second Amendment wasn't just for white folk. So they strapped themselves with guns and showed up at the Capitol in California. And when they saw them Negroes with guns, come on, somebody. That's why I say if you ever really want to get gun laws changed, just strap all these Negroes up. They'll change them laws before the week is over. When the Black Panthers, watch this, I want you to read, the California legislator passed what was called the Mulford Act. It was a gun control act that decided who could get guns, who couldn't get guns, what could be in your background, what couldn't be in your background. It was the first time in history that the National Rifle Association, the NRA, supported restrictive gun legislation, all because black folk had the nerve to get strapped. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, go get strapped. Amen, somebody. Y'all gonna say Bishop told us to get strapped. I said it. Go get strapped. It just got real quiet up in here. But y'all already know I'm a triple P. Amen. Y'all know what a triple P is, right? A pistol packing preacher. Amen, somebody. All right, peace, family. Y'all know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. Let me see if I can get my chat up. They changed my screen up on this thing. Every week, there's something different.
You've got a responsibility to go back to Lodabar. Your work's not done just because you made it to the palace.
Alrighty, we'll be checking y'all out. You have a great and amazing day, okay? Thank you as well. All right, Bishop.
All right, now.
Don't pull up the ladder because you climbed to the up the bridge because you made your way across. Thank you, Jesus. But reach your hand back down the ladder and pull somebody else up out of Lodabar.
Okay. I see you, Whitney. Hey, baby girl.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. That's the name of the Lord. Somebody got to tell themselves, it's all right if you got it now, just hold it for me. I'll be there to get it after a while. Oh, bless the name of the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. You've got to make up in your mind that what God has for me, it is for me.
Just jump on it.
I might not have it right
And
now.
mute your mic.
Get it next week. You might try to stop me from getting it, but if God said
Just click the link. Just click the link. Just don't resist. Just I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, but my phone don't have a whole lot of battery juice. It's gonna.
It's fine. Get it off of that. Like, share, subscribe, y'all. Let me see who's in here.
Thank you, Jesus. Our young people are dying. Cracked out. Suicide. Homicide. They'll kill you at the drop of a dime. Our jails are full. Yet the crime still runs rampant. Sometimes God got to strip what you got to have so you don't depend on yourself.
There you go.
What's happening?
So I'll be able to see you.
I couldn't see myself.
Don't. It's okay.
No, it's not.
You're on the air, man.
See myself.
Not yet. You'll be able to see yourself in a minute. Just relax.
$100,000 here thoughts. Now $200,000. I got $1 thoughts, baby. You better think, because the Bible said, as a man think. The reason we ain't is because what we think we are. Thank you, Jesus.
90.7 WTCC. Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Spoken Word. You know, I was on Friday and I called Friday the Spoken Word by mistake because I was confused because of the holiday and all of that. I was on the Black Love Experience. But now I am on the Spoken Word. So welcome to everybody out there who has tuned in. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving weekend and all of that good stuff. And that after you got through eating all of your Thanksgiving meals, that you got a little workout in or something like that to work off all of those calories that you put on. But in any case, tell a friend, tell somebody we're on the air right now. Kind of going to be like kind of like a open forum morning, but also I want to talk about something I've been thinking about and want to talk about is the need for young black people to know the history that made their freedom possible. And I think a lot of times um, they take that for granted, A, and then B, we fail to teach it to them. So a lot of moving parts to that, a lot of nuances with that. Tell somebody, tell a friend. We're on the air. Bishop is on there. Got a guest in the studio with me. You'll see momentarily. So like, share, subscribe. Do me a favor and rep your city, rep your town. Let me know where you're chiming in from. And we'll be right back. Keep it locked right here, 90.7 FM.
But the essence of growth is change. The being in the road will be the end of the road if you refuse to change.
Reach a little higher, reach a little higher, dig a little deeper, dig a little deeper, go a little further, go a little further. Don't stop, come on, reach a little higher, come on, yeah, dig a little deeper, dig a little deeper, go a little further, go a little further. Don't stop, come on, don't stop. The essence of life is growth, but the essence of growth is change. The being in the road will be the end of the road if you refuse to change. Your life will never change until you get disgusted with where you are. Whatever you don't hate is what you tolerate. You must learn from the past, plan for the future, and live for today. For it is your daily routine that determines your success or failure in life. It's the choices that you have made up until this point that will determine the rest of your life. So break the cycle that doing enough is good enough.
Put on that
you
side.
want to get out what you put in, so don't settle for the crumbs when you can have the whole loaf. So push yourself beyond your limitations. Come on. Reach a little higher. Reach a little higher. Dig a little deeper. Dig a little deeper. Go a little further. Don't stop. Don't stop. Come on. Reach a little higher.
See, I got wife in the studio. I had to convince her that I knew what I was doing. With the anyway, I had to convince her I knew what I was doing. But anyway, we're here. Like, share, subscribe. Rep your city, rep your town.
There are no shortcuts to success. There are no elevators to the top. You gotta take it one step at a time. You gotta break the routine.
All right, let me do a check and see who I got. All right, we got 3,374 people on Twitter, which is always my mega church. Let me check out YouTube. Let's see what we got on the tube. We got 792 people on YouTube. Welcome to the YouTubers. Y'all running second behind the Twitterers. Y'all just jumped up to 804. Go YouTube.
You gotta understand the greatness is the nature that you were born out of.
Let me check out Facebook. My faithful Facebookers. We got 271 of y'all on Facebook. And 259 of y'all on Instagram. Welcome to and I don't know how many of y'all are listening over our 4,000 watts on WTCC. But feel free to give us a call at 413-736-2781. And also put your comments in. Definitely put your comments in. And if you're in the Twitter space, you can put your requests in. I see a couple of requests already, and we haven't started talking, so we'll get you on momentarily. We got to play our disclaimer. And, of course, we do our spoken word piece because we're called the spoken word. So we got to do that. And then we're ready to rock and roll. We'll do our spoken word piece. Here we go. I have a EP that's coming out in honor of Rhonda. In fact, I'm going to my son's house to start recording today. 10th anniversary of her passing.
And had her share of sorrow, but who never gave up hope for a brighter tomorrow. I've been lied to, cheated on, stolen from and hit, but it just made me stronger and I refuse to quit. That's right. And though I've been tempted, I refuse to stoop to them. Don't go down.
Above that nonsense and made a liar of the devil. All right, where y'all coming in from? I see you, Altavis, on the gram. Little baby girl, I got my water. Strong Island in the building. Holyoke in the building. Houston is in the building. Chicago's in the building. Union, New Jersey's in the building.
Oh yes, when I look in the mirror, I love what I see. She's looking good. That strong, beautiful black woman, that woman is me.
.7 WTCC. Good morning and welcome again to the spoken word. I'm your host, Bishop Talbert Swan II. I was trying to obey and play our disclaimer, but it was not loading. So I'm gonna see if I can get it loaded. If not, just know that the views and opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the participants and do not necessarily express the views and opinions of 90.7 WTCC. It is 11 minutes past the hour of 9 a.m. And I want to thank Elder Rick Robinson for bringing us up until the 9 o'clock hour with those Monday morning inspirations. You can hear him every Monday morning from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., bringing you the best in gospel music. Great way to start out your Monday morning. Good way to start out your day. Let's do your microphone check. See if I can hear you.
Hello, good morning.
All right. Can y'all can hear her, right? Yeah. Okay. If y'all can hear us well in the social media space, just do me a favor and tell me so. Say yes in the comment section. Tell me. I hear a little echo. Is that yours or me?
That's
Okay. All right.
So
Well, we got your volume.
maybe you don't know what you're doing.
I do. I know what I'm doing. I know exactly what I'm doing. You didn't know what was going on. What was going on. But anyway, you know what? I'm about to take her off the air. She just got on it.
You invited me here.
413
That's just like the
736 2781. 413 736 2781. Let me get a little bit of chill hop in here. There we go. All right, we good to go now. So listen, first I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving.
Yes, me too.
I cooked a lot of food. Greens and macaroni and cheese and candied yams.
What kind of greens were they?
And turkey and
what kind of greens
they were collards and turnips.
No, they
were turnips they were turnips and they was greens.
No collards.
They was greens.
No collards.
They was green.
Turnips.
They was green. And all that stuff. As I always do, I put my foot in. I put my foot in it as I usually do every Thanksgiving, I throws down.
What else did you cook?
I throws down. You know what else I cook? I cooked everything but the ham.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
The dressing, the cornbread dressing.
Okay. How you make your dressing, baby?
Listen, I did a whole sermon on dressing now.
Okay.
Don't get me started now.
How you make your dressing?
I made a whole sermon on dressing.
Okay.
You know, go back and listen to the sermon. That
Black women
you
cannot
get
they credit.
you gotta listen to me preach my sermon on the
Black
cornbread
women
dressing.
cannot get they credit.
Last year I did a sermon on sweet potato pie, on making sweet potato pie. Oh, you know what else?
You see how you overtalk?
And I had to clap back at Mark Lamont Hill, who was dissing macaroni and cheese. Tell him about the first macaroni and cheese you made.
It was horrible.
Tell him what you made it with.
But did you tell the people?
No, tell him what kind of cheese you made it with.
I don't remember.
She made it with Velveeta.
No, actually, your mother taught me how to make it.
She made it with Velveeta.
Your mother taught me how to make it with Velveeta. No, your mother taught me how to make it with Velveeta. She did.
Okay.
No, I didn't know what I was doing the first time. You know, the first time hey, that was 36 years ago.
She make better macaroni and cheese now, definitely.
Yeah,
for real.
I don't even like making macaroni and cheese. And I don't make sweet potato pie.
Yeah. That's something we gotta pray about.
Yeah, I don't make sweet potato pie.
We gotta pray about. So I need y'all to rep your city, rep your town. Definitely do all that stuff. I wanted to touch on the real need for Black people to know history in a general sense, history that made their freedom possible, but then also in a more localized sense, because often, we grew up and they would tell us about Martin Luther King. There was a couple figures that they would tell us about in school. The rest we had to learn at home. We had to teach our children Black history at home. But then there's a lot of folk who don't know the history that's right around them, living history that's actually even living among them. And every generation of Black people in this nation stands on shoulders, stands on ground that somebody else fought for. And lest they forget, our progress has always been purchased through blood, sweat, and tears. And we have to confront really a painful truth that too many young Black people are never taught how we got here. And they don't know what's right in their face. I noticed that particularly about millennials and what comes after them?
Gen Zs.
Millennials, Gen Zs. But then we even got some problem with some Gen Xers who are really learning things for the first time. But the bottom line is our rights were bought with blood. They didn't just come by osmosis.
Yeah.
And I was thinking we were talking about this past election here in Springfield and some historic breakthroughs. We have for the first time an all Black and Latino elected school committee.
And I'm so happy. I don't know what to do with
now. Of course, the mayor is automatically a member of the school committee by virtue of the office, but the 6 that are elected to it are all Black and Latino. And then we have a majority Black and Latino city council. And recently, Councilor Tracy Whitfield announced that she will likely be the first Black woman city council president. And when she announced the 7 persons who would be supporting her, I noted that 4 out of those 7 were ward counselors.
Yeah.
That without the support of ward counselors, that historic feat wouldn't be possible.
And so there's a real need for people to understand that these achievements that we see right here in our city didn't just happen by osmosis.
They did not.
You know, they came through literally decades of struggle.
And sacrifices.
Yep, sacrifices, long legal battles.
Yes.
Threats.
Let's not forget the threats.
Threats, all of that.
Yep.
Our votes were being diluted
Yep.
by an all at large process.
Yeah.
And when
we were dealing with suppression.
Yeah, voter suppression, voter dilution.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the majority voting age population lived in 2 wards, 6 and 7, and most of the city councilors and school committee members came from those 2 wards.
Right.
For years, we had 1 black person on the city council.
Right.
Until Carol Lewis Carlton got elected as the first black woman.
I remember that.
And
I've been around long enough. I remember.
Yeah, you remember all of this because this is history that we lived through.
Yeah, I can't believe it that we've been married that long. You know,
yeah,
we got
long
married
time.
In '91, and yeah, and we've been through all of that together. 35 years. That's crazy.
Yeah. And it was 1996, 97 in that era. When we took that fight to the federal courts to say, hey, listen, we're tired of not being able to elect representatives that look like us because of this unfair system. And we had looked and we had seen in other places, Illinois and certain other places where they had won lawsuits like this. And with the legal genius of black lawyers, led by James Morton.
Yes.
We became part of a lawsuit that had been filed by Joseph Fountain, and I want to give Joe his credit.
Yes, absolutely.
He's a white brother.
Yes. Art Sirota was a white brother too.
and Joe originally filed the lawsuit, but because he was not part of the aggrieved class, the lawsuit would have been thrown out because he did not have standing. And so the lawsuit needed to have those who were actually affected by it. So we joined in on the lawsuit. I became the lead plaintiff. The late Frank Bunton, longtime member of the NAACP. Shalon Brown.
Yeah, I remember. She was what, like 19?
She was a student at Hampshire College, I think it was at the time. Yes, she was very young. She was very young. Maria Morales Lobo, who was the head of the Spanish American Union. Edgar Alejandro. Carol Lewis Carlton, who was running for city council at that time. Diana Grau, and of course Michael Ann Busey, who was co-founder of Arise, of Arise for Social Justice, and Errol Campbell, our friend and brother, who was part of the Million Man March Committee. And you had 2.
Oh, see, now you hitting on something else, but before you go on. When you said unfair system, I think you need to explain what you mean when you say unfair system, because it's bigger than white folks, being elected to the council or white folks being elected to the school committee. I mean, it's good white folks out there, so we don't wanna put it out there like if you white and you're elected that makes a corrupt system.
No. So we had
expound up on corrupt system.
The demographics of Springfield were much different. Now remember, when we first filed this lawsuit, we're going into 2026.
Absolutely.
So this was literally 30 years ago.
Yeah, it was 30 years ago.
We were not what we are now, they call us a majority minority city, majority Latino and African
I
American.
remember I had moved here in '88.
Yeah,
Remember?
yeah,
And so it was extremely more diverse then.
Yeah.
You know, it was extremely more diverse then.
So-
The school system was a definite reflection of that too. I remember because I grew up in an all black part of Dallas, Texas, and I went to all black schools and the whole nine. So it was really culture shock to move into a city like Springfield, and then to raise my children in very diverse schools. I loved it. I loved it. It was about 30%, 30% white, 30% black, 30% Latino at the time when I first moved here. That has changed drastically. And I don't even know if people realize it, but it's been a lot of black flight here in the city of Springfield.
There's been a lot of white flight.
Well, white
Yeah.
flight, of course, honestly, to be expected. That's honest. But
Yeah.
we did not expect the numbers to change so severely
Yeah.
in the black community. I think it's about 15% of, at least the last time that I checked, it's about 15% in the school system now. So that's a reflection of what's probably happening in the city too.
So what was going on in that day? It was a predominantly white city, and then Black and Latino residents had younger medium ages. So
Yes.
we had far less percentage wise
Yep.
voting age population. So
Yes.
not only were they far more than us,
Mhm.
far more in terms of voting age population as
Right.
well, and it was near about impossible to get our persons elected.
Yeah.
For years, Paul Mason was the only one on the council. Then for years, Mo Jones was the only one on the council. Then for years, Bud Williams was the only one on the council. And now, because of ward representation, we're majority Black and Latino
Yeah.
on the council.
Yeah.
And when we move into having the first Black female president, it will be because
Of what
those
representation.
Black
Yeah.
and Latino
Yeah.
ward representatives supported her to become the first Black woman on the council.
Yeah.
And too often, the younger generation, and then also the fact that we now have the first Black female school superintendent
Oh my God.
as well. Sonia Denal, my classmate, Classical Bulldogs, class of '84.
What about Terry Poe?
Yeah, Terry Poe, assistant deputy
Right.
superintendent.
Is she the first, I mean,
I'm not sure about that.
Female?
I'm not sure. No, she's not the first female deputy.
black.
I'd have to check the record.
Yeah.
I'd have to check the record, but she wouldn't be the first Black or the first female. We've had a female. We had a Latino female before. Of course, Bishop Brian Robinson was the deputy superintendent years
Right.
and years ago,
Right.
and then acting superintendent.
Right.
But certainly in a long time.
Yes.
Certainly in a long time, and too often this generation, they see what was it the old folks would say, they see the fruit but not the root. They see the fruit of our labor, they see representation, they see visibility, they see opportunity, but they don't see the struggle that was behind it. They don't see the strategy, they don't see the sustained resistance that made it possible. And when we were fighting these battles, the landscape was so different in terms of social activism. Now you get the word out in a heartbeat, right? You post something on Facebook,
Yes.
you utilize social media,
Yes.
all of the modern accoutrements that assist and aid when you want to get your word out, when you want to have your voice out. Everybody has a platform now. Everybody got a platform. Back then, it wasn't like that. We didn't have no Facebook. There was no
I know it
Instagram.
didn't,
There,
but I
there,
don't
there,
even
there,
remember when it
yeah,
was like
there,
that.
there was none of that.
Yeah,
And so our activism had to be very deliberate, very sustained.
intentional.
We couldn't just go away when the cameras left. We didn't have the ability to post something every day to remind people of what was going on and all of that. Um, Also, the what I forgot to mention was the Million Man March Committee and Arise for Social Justice were the two organizational plaintiffs on that original lawsuit, and
Absolutely.
they were and their members were the ones doing the grunt work behind the scenes, um, to bring this, push this out into the forefront, going down to city council, and by the way, go ahead, and I'm gonna talk about city councilors. There was a lot of resistance from the city council
Yeah,
to make this happen.
I wanted to bring this up, and and you have a better memory than I do, when it comes to this stuff, because I was at home pushing and supporting, but I was at home taking care of the family in the home. Um, but certainly engaged in supporting the whole effort. I always did. It was just common sense to me. But I do want to bring back to your attention and memory that I think that when you first ran for the NAACP, that also played a role in terms of kind of building the momentum, or at least identifying, hey, wait a minute, there's some racial tension going on here, uh in Springfield. I remember that, and I also remember, um and I don't know if you put this in your notes to bring up in terms of the ward representation, but there was also a great need from, well, something that was developed out of the faith community as well. I forget what we called it. What was the interfaith racial reconciliation
Yeah, we called
groups
it
that
the
were
the
developed,
Springfield Christian Leadership Council.
right,
Yeah,
so those entities also played a role in supporting and pushing, and then identifying, hey, we might need to do something more in changing, this governmental landscape, that we are trying to navigate, through.
yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned the NAACP. They were not part of the first lawsuit. However, when we filed a second lawsuit, I believe it was 2007, and this kind of tells you how long this struggle went. The original lawsuit was 97. Second lawsuit was 2007. A decade later, we were still fighting the city of Springfield to say we need fair representation. And in that second lawsuit, the New England Area Conference of the NAACP became an organizational plaintiff
Yeah.
in the lawsuit. Ironically, I currently serve as the first vice president of NEAC, of that body right now.
Right.
So it
No,
was
what I
really,
meant was that first time that you ran for the
yeah,
NAACP, it really showed up in a way to where we was like, we had no idea it was this much hatred out here. You
yeah.
know,
Well, there was a lot of
it was,
resistance in our own unity,
yeah,
just
that's
like
what I
just
mean.
like we see today. We,
Yeah,
we we see us out here really trying to fight against the tyranny of this administration that's basically erased black people. But we see a whole cadre of black folks supporting this and fighting against us. We got preachers that are fighting against people who are in black fraternities and sororities, but they got no smoke for premises. And that was true back then.
right.
We had black folk who who were resisting those who were resisting.
Yeah, right. Because I remember the campaign to basically go into the white community, and I think it was the Jewish community, to be quite honest with you, and get them to sign on as members or become members of the NAACP so that they could vote against you in that first run for NAACP president. So you've been in it
A long time.
Yeah.
A long
And
time.
we were young. We were babies. We had no idea we were babies at the time. But we were young. We were babies.
Well, the reality is, I tell young people this all the time, that it's young people who are the ones who drive movements, who change the world. Every major human rights / civil rights movement was led by young folk. People sometimes forget Martin Luther King died before he was 40. He never saw his 40th birthday. Malcolm X never saw his 40th birthday. These men were in their mid-20s when they were first the leaders of major movements. And that's what I want young people to understand, that they have the energy, they have the creativity, and with the support of some of us older folks, they can definitely make change. And we were young. We were very young during the time all of these things were happening, and we felt like a lot of the young people feel about us now. Why don't y'all get on out the way so we can...
But I don't even know if they see us as in the way. I was just thinking about that, and maybe I'm always looking at things through my therapeutic lens, but, my lens is that the culture has shifted so. I think about, for instance, when you were young, that there were many young ministers, the young ministers, that was the next level, of preachers that was coming up. You don't see that anymore. It was the same thing when I was young, growing up. You always saw the young people, the Sunshine Band, and then the Purity Class, and then the Aspiring Missionaries, and then the missionaries, and then the mothers. It was always that, but you don't see it like that anymore. And now since COVID, it's really shifted.
Yeah.
But we kind of can see that because we've been on the planet long enough. But then you got to think about it, our children didn't see that. They only have what they've seen, which is they never saw the different levels, the different generations. All they know is, half of the church is at home watching church now.
Yeah, it's a different paradigm.
Yeah, it's totally different now. And so I'm thinking that's playing a role in mentorship too. Or whatever, the young people are not under our wings like we were under the wings of the generation before us.
Blue Sky, I think you got the microphone.
Yes, thank you very much, Bishop. Just 2 points. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. First of all, I want to remind everyone, this was the dog going on in Venezuela. This was red flag about a month ago when Admiral Alvaro Hosler resigned, Navy Admiral Southern Command, and he knew something was up. And as you know, there's 6 senators, Congress, they put this letter out about everybody was making a big deal about they know about what's going on. So they were giving heads up about our military not follow illegal orders. And everybody's making a big deal because they spoke the truth. And the reality is, it's about oil. It's about Venezuela has the largest oil reserve in the world. And we don't want our young men to die for something that's not benefit to the society. Only big corporations. Second of all, my next point, I don't want it to too long, is about election coming up this Tuesday in Tennessee. 7th district. It's really important. And so far we did it for Virginia, we did New Jersey, we did New York. Let's do one more time tomorrow. Please go out there and vote. I know they're circulating this lady. She's running 7th district. There's some video about her, about Black Lives Matter, because she participated in a lot of stuff. And they trying to make issue that, hey, she's not one of us. She's a traitor, something like that. But please go out there and vote. And let's do this together. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate you. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little later. Venezuela and Nigeria that Trump is messing with, and we know it's all about oil in both of those places.
Yeah, well, you can bet if Trump is for something, we need to be against it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think for young black activists, organizers, elected officials, this historic moment carries a responsibility. And that's that they should never forget who opened the doors that they walked through. One of the things my Uncle Ben would always say whenever he got up to speak, no matter where it was, he would pay homage to his ancestors whose shoulders he stood on. And I think people should not become so enamored with any newfound influence or clout that they think that they have, that they lose sight of the hands that pushed open the doors for them, that opened up the windows, folks who bruised their knuckles and their knees in prayer and in struggle, sometimes long before they were born. And because we have a very short memory when it comes to history. We think sometimes we think America is all there is, and America is a drop in the bucket of world history. America haven't even been around for 100 years.
It's a baby.
And we're quick to forget history. So all of those things that we talked about that happened 30 years ago, we got people now who don't know about them, who don't remember. I think this ought to be taught in the schools in Springfield, so people know how we got to have this type of representation.
Well, now we have that as a possibility because we had a kind of school committee that can make the change. That we need to see in our cities. I happen to believe no shade to city council. I'm really happy about some of the people who were elected and in our city council makeup, but I'm really excited about the school committee. I happen to believe if we can do right by our school system, we can do right by our city. Like, that makes the biggest impact in the city.
Absolutely. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Bishop. Thank you for taking my call. Listening to your conversation, I learned about Black history in school. And it seems like at that time that was our biggest platform, learning about Black history in the school system. But now that they're taking it out of the school, or they don't teach it that much in its true form, we have limited platforms. I don't know what it would take in the city of Springfield to put that back into the curriculum. I don't know if they teach it anymore here in Springfield, but it doesn't seem like it does, like they do, because when I speak with young people, they know very little about our history. So I think that would be an interesting challenge for who the powers might be to see if we can really, seeing that school was the biggest platform, see if we can really push that, or if they can push it, to get it, back into the school system. Or if not, then we have to, look at other platforms like church and other events to try to inform the young people about our history, because if it's forgotten, again, young people I talk to, they think 60 years is is a very long time, and it wasn't that long ago, where we came up during, the civil rights movement and
That's their
things like that.
grandparents.
That wasn't that long ago, but they know little about it. So, again, I think it would be interesting to see what the school committee could do or who the powers might be to put it back into the school system or to improve it in its true form.
All right, appreciate that. Yeah, I think just like they have world history, they have national history. I think they should have local history.
Listen, truth be told, and I'm from Texas, so, and like I said, I grew up in the black schools, and of course, it was integrated into our curriculum. It was always, there, but it's also always been attacked. That's just the fact of the matter. It's always been the first to go. Even in the HBCUs, it's always the first to go when you start talking about funding or having the funds, or or whatever the case may be. It's always been under attack, So that's just the reality. But we've always also counteracted, that attack too. So we did, we started, like, we were the ones, black folks were the ones who started Saturday programs, and we started in the church. Educational programs or whatever in churches, in community-based organizations, whatever, we needed to do, we always tried to supplement. I mean, that was the purpose of the Black Panther Party, or whatever, so that we wouldn't lose our history, and we wouldn't lose our self-esteem, as black people, so that we would try to stay united, try to stay connected, and and not let the powers that be control the narrative and control whether or not, we're able to pass down the truth of our history as black people. So yes, I totally agree, and I think that we certainly have that possibility now, because of the superintendent that we have, her deputy superintendents, and then of course the makeup as a whole of the school committee.
Be somebody that fits that description of what he's talking about.
Yeah.
It ain't us.
No, it's not the majority of us.
Yeah, and it's definitely not the majority of us, and I don't want a generalized statement to be made about black people, because that sounds an awful lot like some other folks' talking points about us.
Right. And we don't want to repeat any of that. We're gonna stay over here
You
on
know,
this side. We're gonna stay with the 92% of black women.
yeah, well, black excellence has
Yeah.
always been the standard. Let me give the names of. I talked about the '97 lawsuit, and I don't want to slight those who came along later on in the fight, and added their names and reputations on the line in the 2007 lawsuit, and that was slightly before um, war representation took effect in the 2009 election. But in the once again the 97 lawsuit, of course, myself, Bishop Talbert Swan, the second was the lead plaintiff, Frank Bunton, Shalon Brown, Maria Morales Lobo, Edgar Alejandro, Carol Lewis Carlton, Diana Grau, Michael Ann Busey, Errol Campbell, and then, of course, the Million Man March Committee and Arise for Social Justice were the organizational plaintiffs.
And those are the founding plaintiffs.
Yeah, those
are the originals.
Those are the original plaintiffs. Then, let me see, I got it somewhere in here. In 2007, there was a second lawsuit that was filed. See, what happened in the city was playing games. So after we filed the 97 lawsuit, as it was making its way through the courts, we decided to put forth a citizens initiative petition. And the city councilors agreed that if the majority of the people in the city voted in favor of ward rep, they would then pass home rule legislation to make it happen. So we did the mammoth task, and God rest the soul of Michael Ann Busey, who was the major driving force behind gathering the signatures for this initiative petition, because we had to get thousands and thousands of signatures to get this on the ballot. But the state standard was so stringent that we had to have a certain number of the registered voters to go out and vote for it. We didn't even have that number of people that went out to vote, period. In total, that's still an issue today. So, but what did happen in that petition, 58% of the voters said yes, we want ward representation. So we asked the city council lied to us and told us that if we dropped the lawsuit, that they would then enact it. We dropped the lawsuit. They never enacted ward representation. So they pulled the okey doke on us, and that's what led to.
What mayor was?
Well, Mayor Albano was in favor of it. To his credit, Mayor Albano filed.
City council.
Yeah, that was against it.
So what was the city council afraid of?
Losing power.
Okay, well, you need to say that.
Yeah, losing power. Yeah, Mayor Albano was always in favor of ward rep, and filed it with the city council several times for home rule, and it got defeated at the city council level every time he filed it.
And what was the city council makeup at that time? Like, was it 13 and was?
No, there was 9 people on the council.
On the council at the time, and
yeah,
8 of them was white.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There were councilors who were adamantly against it. Rayford Pellegrino adamantly against it. Tim Rook adamantly against it. Then there were some who were in support, and some who were in support, but not of the form we wanted. We wanted 8 ward and 3 at large. Dominic Sarno, the current mayor, said he would vote for it if it was 5 and 4 instead of 8 and 3. So there were some who were trying to barter with us about what form it would take place, but the majority were adamantly against what we were proposing. And so after they pulled the okey doke on us with that, then we had to file another lawsuit. And in that second lawsuit, we actually lost some people who had transitioned. The second lawsuit, we have the New England Area Conference of the NAACP, Arise for Social Justice. Again, we're organizational plaintiffs. Myself was the lead plaintiff. Norman Oliver, Darlene Anderson, Gumercindo Gomez, Frank Bunton from the original group was still with us. Rafael Rodriguez and Diana Nurse. Those were the persons in the 2007 lawsuit.
10 years later.
Who put their names on the complaints. Basically, we were trying to put the community on our back, demanding that Springfield stop diluting the votes of Black and Latino residents and to adopt a system that would allow for our neighborhoods to elect people who look like us.
To share the power.
Yeah.
That's all we ever want. That's all we ever want. We don't ever want anything we don't deserve.
Yeah.
You know, that's not righteous. That's not equitable, if you will. So But as we know, Frederick Douglass, power concedes nothing without a demand. Absolutely.
People just don't give up power.
They don't.
People
love power.
Yeah, and they don't want to share it. Yeah. I mean, the reason why you got folk who are against Black people having health care, it's not about they don't want to share it. I got health care. You don't deserve to have what I have.
Is that the reason why so many
Black
women got fired?
It's sick.
Replaced by white men.
White men. By mediocre, unqualified white men.
Replaced by white men is the thing.
But that was the intention the whole time. Look at the cabinet of unqualified white men after this whole big thing about meritocracy and getting rid of DEI and only having the best and the brightest and all of that. Lovely Michael, you got the microphone. Unmute, you can speak. Good morning.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
You got the mic.
Yeah, I say, how you guys doing?
We're doing well. We're doing well, sir. Go ahead. Go right ahead.
Yeah, this topic is really, really interesting. I just love what you guys are doing about the Black people. Yeah, it's hard to forget the past. It's hard to forget our people who came before us, words and the suffer which they went through. So at times,
all right, I think we got a bad connection. We can try to get him back. And the whole thing about not forgetting the past. What people need to realize is they are not the whole story. Yeah. And that the story doesn't start with them. They are a continuation. I'm a continuation. My children are a continuation of our story. Our grandchildren are a continuation of their parents' story. They are the next chapter.
And we wouldn't have a story had it not been for our grandparents,
absolutely,
our grandparents, our great-grandparents, and so on and so forth, people that we never met and never will meet.
I think every generation has two basic obligations. Yeah. To honor those that came before them,
the ancestors,
and then to prepare the ground for the young people that are going to come after. Honor those that came before, and prepare for those that are coming after.
Yeah. Babe, one of the things too about this activism is, if you will, is that I like to tell people, especially as a therapist, I like to remind people that I think it's great for you to raise your level of Black consciousness. But I need to remind people that you're not trying to go out into the world and become popular with your activism. You need to start your activism at home. I'm thinking about, what the young man said when he called and he said, well, history, I learned history in school. My children learn history at home.
At home.
And actually, to be quite honest with you, we can tell y'all story after story after story times where, you know, we taught our children certain things or whatever at home, and when they went to school, they taught their teachers about certain people, things,
Yeah.
events, history, and so on and so forth. My daughter, our daughter, when she was in what grade was she in? Third grade?
She was at Indian. She was at Indian Orchard Elementary.
Indian Orchard. I now, for whatever reason, it's slipping me. She was young though, and you know, she went to school and they were celebrating Christopher Columbus, and my daughter said, "I'm not celebrating Christopher Columbus," you know, or whatever, and the teachers and everybody was questioning her, getting all upset with her. And she was like, you know, they was basically reading a book about Christopher. He sailed the ocean blue in 1492 and all of this kind of stuff. And, you know.
And she wanted to know,
right,
what about the Arawak Indians that he slaughtered on his way there?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So she questioned some things and she changed. She changed some things. I don't know what's happening over there now. You know, our kids are grown and gone, you know, or whatever the case may be. But for at least 10 years, they did not celebrate Christopher Columbus because of this little black girl being bold enough to say he is nobody to celebrate.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they still believe he should be celebrated. We got a Chris Columbus statue here in Springfield downtown. But celebrating colonizers, and people like that is par for the course.
Yeah.
They're on our money. We got slaveholders on our money.
Yeah,
Genocidal maniacs on our money.
But our point is that, you know, history really begins at home.
Yeah, absolutely.
History cannot begin at school.
Matter of fact, you have to deprogram what's taught at the schools, because many times that's inaccurate.
It's very inaccurate. I remember another one of our children, I believe she was in the 6th grade at the time, and it was Black History Month, and she had to do a report, and I said, do it on somebody, you know, that people don't normally do. And so she just chose somebody that's average to us. You know, we got all of her books or whatever in the home library and so on and so forth. So she just chose Maya Angelou. But what killed us was her teacher did not know who Maya Angelou was.
She didn't know who Mae Jemison was either when she did a report on her.
Right, and they brought Mae Jemison here to Springfield.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, so it's crazy, but I think that kind of stuff may not exist as much now because of the makeup. Right?
Well,
you know, the school committee now reflects the makeup of the school.
One of our daughters had a post recently that went viral on Threads. I know a lot of y'all ain't on Threads, but she posted a couple of pictures of me and her. One when she was a little girl, one when she was older, and she said something like this: "The reason why I'm so pro-black, you can blame it on this man, because he would only buy me black Barbie dolls."
And her mother.
and I'm like, yeah, that's true. There were when I'm raising black queens, there's no white Barbie dolls in the house. I wanted them to see the beauty in themselves. I didn't want them to think that the standard of beauty looked like somebody else. I was like, no, my daughters don't get to play with white Barbie dolls.
But it's bigger than that. And the reason why I say it's bigger than that, babe, is because I'm 58 years old. I'll be 59 in a couple of months.
Whoa, you getting old.
Was a time when I was her age, when I was a little girl and dolls were being bought, there were no such thing as black Barbie dolls.
Yeah.
There was no such thing.
Yeah, because you came up during ancient history.
Well, you know, exactly. But I'm just one generation.
I get it.
From who she is, you know. But what I'm saying is, for her to be able, for us to be able to buy her black Barbie doll, somebody advocated for that.
Yeah.
You know, somebody advocated for that. So she needed to know that mommy I didn't have access to black dolls. I didn't have access to black dolls. So, you know, that's a history lesson. Right?
Yeah.
That's a history lesson.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm out of time. We got to transition. We got to go. Coming up next is mid-morning jazz and great black music and all of that kind of stuff. Say your goodbye, babe, because I see you messing with the camera and stuff. You just messing up. You just messing up.
Bye, everybody.
All right. All right.
Bye, everybody.
So listen, if you're looking for a place to worship, check us out at the Spring of Hope Church of God in Christ, 35 Alden Street, Bishop Talbert Swan Way, the Brick Church, right there at 6 Corners, prayer, praise, and preaching. We're building better tomorrows by changing lives today. 10 a.m. is Sunday school, 11 a.m. is morning worship. Saturday at 9 a.m. we're in Vermont at our Vermont location, 29 South Street in Brattleboro, Vermont. Love to see you in the sanctuary. Check me out on Friday. I'll be back on Friday on the Black Love Experience. I got them together. Today's the spoken word. Friday is the Black Love Experience. And as always, until the next time I talk to you and you talk to me, always remember, God loves you, and so do I. Peace and blessings. All right, Instagram, peace. See y'all later, Twitter.
I remember my sister gave me the call and I was in awe. Matter of fact, it felt the farthest from reality. She seen somebody post RIP with his name and I said I doubt it's the same friend I had since the 7th grade. She said I'ma call his sister and double check and called me back. Said he hanged himself in his room and had been there for days. Initially it didn't hit me, then it clicked and I remembered that I hadn't seen or heard from the homie all week. Wish she had told me what had him feeling lonely and weak. I guess everybody got demons we don't even speak of. Cause I was with him exactly a week before the call. Just under 20, he couldn't even